Hey everybody, this is PD from Spinner Rack, and today I went to the comic store. So I'll show you what I got. So you can see what I got. I guess we start from here. I got some Frank Miller Presents books, issue 2, which I've paged through. It connects back to the first series in here, but there's some interesting stuff that happens with the kids. Now this is more just really, just cool visuals, but that's interesting, right? And then we also have Ancient Enemies, which we have a backup story by Frank Miller doing this. I think it's a geek character. We also have Avengers: War Across Time. I think this is one of the first books that Paul Levitt did for Marvel. And he's doing it around the issue like 10 or something like that, or 11 of the Avengers. So this is kind of a book that fits in, same like Avengers 1.5. So it's a big Kang storyline that happens in between 11 and I'm not sure how many issues, but we got Alan Davis, who's one of my favorites, and Paul Levitt. And then we also have Monica Rambeau Photon. Now, I'm not really with the Photon name, but the art looked interesting enough, right? So I purchased it, right? So she has her hair kind of done up, not like it was back in the day, which was similar. Oh no, they got it done up here too, right? So I got the first 3 issues because they were out there, and she's kind of caught up in this plot where she possibly messed up the world, and the Beyonder's also there. Oh, this is going a little too quick. All right, so what can I do? This is crazy. This is really quick, right? So the last book I got was Hulk Grand Design. So I guess I gotta go bigger for this, right? Okay, there we go. Right, so we got Hulk Grand Design. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this, but I did want to say, in looking at this, let me move these guys out because they might need their own video at some later date. We got this Grand Design thing, right? Of course, the precursor to that was Hip Hop Family Tree. What did I do with the X-Men one? Somewhere there it is. We also have X-Men Grand Design, right? In the style of Hip Hop Family Tree, but this was a little more. I'll give Ed Piskor, even though it's kind of the retcon central in this Grand Design, it is it's similar to X-Men 138. I'll give it that. It's closer to that, but it has a lot of retcons. Byrne kind of did in his X-Men 138. He did the entire X-Men history if it was all brilliant, right? Whereas Episcor kind of goes to the comedy of it. And this does that, but at the same time, it's kind of the best kind of, what can I call this? It's kind of the best scrapbook. It's like the Hulk scrapbook, right? This Grand Design, right? And this has, let's see if we can do this, right? By Jim Rugg, Grand Design, right? It has the original cover, some of these stuff from Marvel reprinted, and then stuff reprinted and then there's stuff redrawn, right? So it's got a lot of bits and pieces. So let's keep this in the middle, right? But it is missing one thing, right? So it has the extra covers. Ed Piscor did that one. And this starts taking away the beginning, but you'll see that at some point later, right? And it changes the direction. And some of the cool things Stan did, right? So there's a bit, like it's kind of here, but the moment is a little before that, which we'll see later, right? And here, this scene is Hulk looking for Betty. So it's retcon of Hulk looking for Betty, whereas in the original, Hulk is just looming around and Betty's like, there's no monster. And Hulk is like, yes, there is. And then she passes out, right? So it's that was a cool moment by Stan in the dialogue, right? And let's see. So here, we have the earlier bit, but without the moment of, seeing Banner save Rick Jones, right? And you see the decimation. So it's just kind of showing the extra gamma radiation that he got, but they don't play up that the Hulk could fly either, right? Because that's a bit that would be interesting to kind of play out here. And the dynamic between Reed and Banner, which was interesting, where Banner is a little more passionate than Reed Richards, right? And Hulk, they didn't really hate. I mean, all Stan guys, they all kind of argue with each other, and it's missing another bit here, but it goes right to the Steve Ditko period. But the Steve Ditko period was kind of pulling Banner back into it. So it's kind of, we have Banner in this, but it's kind of Banner light. And when Hulk failed, bringing Banner back into the book was kind of what helped it, right? So, which is something that, so here we go, right? So that's a nice Banner moment, right? So he was kind of the reason, I mean, the Hulk failed in his original series, but Steve Ditko said they brought it back with ideas, and the whole Glenn Talbot, that's gone. So we get the Herb Trimpe sort of stuff here. I think I did a video on the curing, right? And the wedding going south. And fighting all these, just bits, really scanning through, but not really fully capturing what Herb Trimpe did for the Hulk. It's got the stories, right? Hulk on trial. And so, I mean, it's really hard to say, to give this, should this get as big of a moment as the issue after that, where he meets Crackerjack Jackson, where the Hulk learns to write his name and he writes his tombstone? It's a shift on how you would write the Hulk. So I think the first part, which is Monster and Madness, like they took, this was a Bruce Banner scene, right? Then the magazine, and then a TV thing. So it's like snapshots of everything, right? And this gets to the Roger Stern period, where it gets into the Hulk's head. Oh, here's Crackerjack. Okay, there he goes. At least got a line of dialogue, but. And this kind of turns into the Versus period, right? Fighting Daredevil, Iron Man, and we throw in the She-Hulk, right? So the Sal Buscema period, right? This is supposed to be the Rocket Raccoon. I don't see the raccoon here, right? Oh, the news strip by Larry Lieber, right? And then where he gets the mind, and this is a good capture in that, of him getting the mind and amnesty, and then him find this new girl. And, well, I guess it's a good representation of Secret Wars, but not the best moment. The Hulk cartoon, and then Hulk losing his mind, right? And then this ends the monster, and this starts the madness period. Let's see if there's any other covers. And some letter pages, and more covers of that period. And this is madness, right? And McGinnis cover. So this is the Crossroads. Crossroads got a little more than it deserved. And then his return to the place where he was born. And Byrne gets 2 pages. And didn't necessarily capture what portion of, what Byrne brought to it, or what Banner brought to it, but has a moment where the Avengers stop the Hulk, and then there's a new strip here. And they stop him and they reunite him, but he turns gray first. And then Rick Jones, which is a country western Hulk. And then there's the McFarlane period, right? The Jiffy Pop head. So McFarlane has so far got 2.5 pages. He gets 3. Then Mr. Fix-It period. And it would be cool if we got a little more Jeff Purvis. I think it's a little here, not enough. It's still the same shot, and giving him a sex life. And he leaves. He gets weaker. Right, this is the last of the Jeff Purvis thing. Gets Sam Keith. We get Dale Keown. I guess this is a shot from Dale Keown period, right? And another one. So he gets 3 pages. And I'm not sure what X Factor's in there. Maybe 4. Hulk joining the Pantheon. And then the Perez thing. Rick Jones getting married. Stealing the bit from Iron Man, where Banner had the mind of the Hulk. Abomination comes back, and then I'm not sure about this, but the Marvel did the such kills everyone. I think I stopped reading it, right? Yeah, this Peter David gets every like bumps, and then Onslaught, and Onslaught would have a split between Hulk would be one place and the other. Right. And Betty dies from something she shouldn't have. Gamma poisoning when she already was Harpy. Harpy is, well, I gotta check see if Harpy's in it, but I think she didn't make it. And also the Warlock story that I did. But that's to say, and this gets to the end, which was in, what's the thing? Imperfect. And Jim Rugg's Hulk. I guess Romita should get some because he did a lot of redrawing on the covers, but that wouldn't. I mean, that's not enough for that. Some other stuff in Marvel, and heesh, this is a what the by Eric Larson. Wow, how did that rate? This cover was a nice, crazy one. This, I don't know how this got in here. Like, give me a break. That, of course, but not this one. I get it. I'm not sure if I'd give you this one. I give you that one. Neil Adams doing the Hulk, I'll give you that. Dale Keown and Byrne, of course. And another. I think I need to maybe check that out. Like Corbin, right? And the Glass. And Jim Rugg himself. So I think ultimately I hadn't planned on doing this, but I think if, well, I don't know. But it's great as a snapshot book, right? Whereas I think the X-Men one tried to connect everything, but they, in connecting it, kind of did a cynical type of look at this. There is some cynicism in this one, but it is a glorious snapshot type of book, right? So I will give it, it will stay in the collectiones. It's a good visual thing to look at. It's more like a coffee table type thing, right? But we got through it, right? And I don't know what else to say about it. But yeah, I looked at it. It's a gorgeous book. I like it as a snapshot type of thing. Just kind of wish we could get in that big thing in the monster, which would be the monster from the early one, who was kind of the, well, the hard part is not having a Marvel guy like Lean Win, Byrne, Roger Stern. Oh, we go Roger Stern first. Who else was around and still do it? Roy Thomas. That monster aspect. At one point, he was a, you know, monster of anger, and then he became Marvel's Goofy, right? And then you have the post 300 period where you have a little bit of monster, but you can see the way. Oh, sorry, you can see the way Al Milgrom went. You can see that we were going to get a Hulk that was smarter than he had been before. So that was started post Byrne, and then Peter David took it and ran with it. You know, and that has been a mainstay in the character for a very long time. So I think, but then going into madness, would the madness connect to having your intelligence, right? So it's an interesting aspect to play to. But I mean, it's a Herculean effort to have done this type of book. So to take nothing away from him, but this is the best way to show that a lot of people, in looking at the Hulk, look at the fact that same like Clark Kent, Bruce Banner gets shuffled out of the book from time to time, and that's during the periods where I think the titles struggle the most early on, right? So I think once it gets its footing, it became more of the Hulk. But I think that's what Byrne was trying to do, get back to having some, some banner scenes, because he's always what kind of gets, even if he has the mind, it's like really having an actual banner scene. But I guess that's about it. Spin Rack out.